This video will contain spoilers for the book The Giver. I wanted to have a deep learned discussion about it, and in order to do that, you kind of have to spoil a little. If you've already read the book, or you don't mind spoilers, or you really want spoilers because you didn't read the book for class, this is probably good for you. Proceed with caution.
If it's only chapter 7 or level 23, we'll be camping in front of our TV. From all our favorite songs and TV shows, we obsess a little too extreme. And if you ever say we're just a little bit strange, we'll just look at you and say, since because friending, yeah, we're a little off-key. Since because friending, but it's alright with me. Since because friending, and we don't have to agree, but my friends are the best company.
Okay, so The Giver. Brilliant book. I was actually assigned this for one of my classes this semester, children's literature, and I read it before classes even started. I was going to do a comparison between this and the film, but I haven't seen the film yet because tight on money. And yes, I do like my tabbies. It's how I roll. First section, we're going to talk about language and books as they're treated in the novel. It opens pretty quickly with already talking about the issue of language with the children in the society. And he begins with introducing the main character, Jonas, and he said that initially he was beginning to feel frightened. And then by the end of the passage, you find out that he changes the word to apprehensive instead. But if you actually read through the passage, it's very clear that he actually did feel frightened, but he picked the word apprehensive because the society he lives in prefers to use the lesser term, the one that emotes less emotion, and apprehensive is much more calm than frightened would be. He also speaks of his friend Asher, who has a tendency to pick the wrong words. In fact, Asher is publicly humiliated at his assignment ceremony for using the wrong word when he was in third year. And he confused the word smack and snack. And the instructor gave him a smack because that's what he asked for. And this went on for such a long time that eventually he was going around with bruises from the beatings that he was getting for it, and he stopped speaking for most of his third year. And the chief elder decided to tell this story when Asher was getting his assignment, and the entire community laughed at him. Good news, though, he seems to have turned to humor. He laughs with them. But I still find it really disturbing that was acceptable in this society. It's when Jonas has received his job description to be the receiver, and he's met with the giver. He comes into the giver's home, and he sees so many books, and he's so floored by it because in his house, like all the other houses, they have a dictionary, a thick volume containing descriptions of every office, factory, building, and committee, and a book of rules. And he doesn't even think for a moment that the things contained in the books could be works of fiction or things written about emotion or experiences. Instead, he wonders how many communities there could be and how many different rules all these communities could have to be contained in these many books. I found it interesting that they cut out literature because it was an art form, and art led to deeper thinking, which they completely cut out of the system so that they could reaffirm the ideal of sameness and cut out all individuality from the society, because this society thinks that individuality is the root of all warfare, and so they just cut it out, including the emotion love. When the giver lends Jonas a memory of familial love. I think it was a Christmas setting. He's floored by it. He doesn't understand what the word love is, let alone the concept. And he comes home to his parents and he says, do you love me? And his parents get really upset with him and they're like, you can't use that word. It's almost obsolete. Don't you know that there's better words for that? Also, it's described in the book that Jonas sees beyond rather early. He saw the apple, he saw the face color in the faces of the people in the crowd, and he saw his friend Fiona's hair. And the color red is normally associated symbolically, anyway, with emotion and passion, whether it be anger or lust or love. It's a strong emotion. And you find that he experiences this in moments that are particularly like he's sharing a moment with his friend when he sees the apple. He's really nervous about his assignment when he sees the faces. And when he sees Fiona, he associates her with lust. But you find out that seeing beyond isn't the only thing that a giver or a receiver can experience. In fact, the giver in this novel admits that he doesn't see beyond, he hears beyond. He experienced music. I thought that was kind of interesting. If there's hearing beyond and seeing beyond, are the other senses there too? I mean, like, pity the guy who got tasting beyond. I mean, what would you taste first? I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. We are filming today in not my kitchen, my parents' kitchen, because my grandmother said that she wants to watch my videos, so I figured they just remodeled the kitchen, so I'd do a shout out with that. Isn't it lovely? A lot of work went into that. So shooting out in the kitchen for that reason. Also, I made dinner earlier and rice balls. And instead of denying myself food, I've been eating in between takes because rice balls. My continued advice will always be that even though it's assigned in class, it's assigned for a reason, it's a classic. And it's worth at least giving it a shot. Like this one's even really short. The Giver. Good book.